You feel things. Emotions control you constantly. Fear, hope, desire, shame, they're running your life without your permission. But you already know this, don't you? You feel that powerlessness right now. Ayanokoji doesn't. And that's why he owns everything while you're still begging for crumbs. But here's what most people miss. The real reason Ayanokoji is untouchable isn't what you think. Stay till the end of this video because I'm about to reveal the psychological mechanism that makes his detachment an actual superpower. The revelation at the end will reframe everything you believe about power, control, and what it actually costs to dominate. This isn't clickbait. This is a truth that will either liberate you or destroy your current worldview. Let that reality destroy your illusions about what power actually is. Emotions are the leash. You think they make you human. You think they make you alive. But what if I told you they're actually making you a slave? What if the thing you've been taught to cherish your capacity to feel is actually the mechanism of your own imprisonment? Ayanokoji understood this before he was even old enough to articulate it. While you were learning to value your emotions, to express your feelings, to be authentic and vulnerable, he was systematically dismantling his own emotional responses. Not out of trauma, not out of pain, out of pure strategic calculation. He recognized that emotions are the enemy of control. Every emotion you feel is a prediction you're making about the world. Every fear is a hypothesis about danger. Every hope is an expectation about the future. And every single one of those emotions is exploitable by someone who doesn't share them. Ayanokoji uses your emotions against you because he doesn't have them to be used against him. Don't scroll thinking this is nihilism or depression masked as philosophy. This is clarity. This is understanding the actual mechanics of power that no one else wants to admit. Your emotions make you predictable. When you're angry, people know to avoid you or expect aggression. When you're happy, they recognize satisfaction and lower their guard. When you're afraid, they smell weakness. Every emotional expression is data that others use to manipulate you. Ayanokoji gives them nothing. He's a blank slate, a mirror, a void. And that void is his greatest weapon. You've been conditioned to believe that suppressing emotions is unhealthy. Mental health professionals tell you to process your feelings and express yourself authentically. But those professionals aren't trying to dominate the world. They're just trying to make you functional enough to participate in society. Ayanokoji isn't interested in functionality. He's interested in supremacy. And supremacy requires the kind of emotional detachment that makes normal people uncomfortable. The moment you stop using your emotions as a guide, everything changes. You can hurt people without hesitation because you don't feel guilt. You can lie without wavering because you don't feel shame. You can betray allies without regret because you don't feel loyalty. You become a pure instrument of will, unattached to consequence or morality. If you're still listening, like this video, because most people will close this the moment they feel the psychological discomfort of what I'm describing, but you're still here. That means you're beginning to see what Ayanokoji sees. When most people make decisions, emotions are running the show. They choose careers based on passion. They form relationships based on love. They make moral choices based on empathy. But all of those decisions are compromised by the fact that emotions are guiding them. Ayanokoji makes decisions based on pure logic, on calculated advantage, on what will maximize his control in any given situation. This is why he's always 3 steps ahead. Not because he's smarter in the traditional sense, but because everyone else is moving through a fog of emotional distortion while he's operating in perfect clarity. They're playing checkers while thinking they're playing chess. He's playing a completely different game where emotions don't exist. The tragedy is that emotions make you feel like you have autonomy. They make you feel like your choices are truly yours, but they're not. Your emotions are the product of evolutionary pressures, social conditioning, and biological chemistry. They're not you. They're programs running on your hardware. Ayanokoji recognized this and deleted the programs. He doesn't suppress emotions out of pain or trauma like some damaged person trying to cope. He dissolved them deliberately, methodically, scientifically. He looked at the architecture of human emotion, understood its function, and decided it was an inefficient system that was limiting his potential, so he rebuilt himself without it. Comment, "I'm ready." When you feel the weight of this settling in that emotional detachment isn't a sickness, it's an upgrade. Most people would see this as a tragedy. They'd pity someone who can't feel love or attachment. But Ayanokoji doesn't see it as a loss. He sees it as a liberation. He's not constrained by the need to protect people he cares about. He's not limited by guilt over his actions. He's not burdened by the need to maintain relationships based on emotional reciprocity. His relationships exist for function, not for feeling. And because they exist for function, they're infinitely more reliable than relationships based on emotion. Emotions change, calculations don't. Emotions are volatile. Logic is stable. Emotions make you irrational. Logic makes you inevitable. The cost of this power is real, though. Ayanokoji doesn't experience joy or contentment in the way you do. He doesn't have the comfort of genuine human connection. He doesn't have the warmth of being understood and accepted. He's achieved absolute control at the price of absolute isolation, and he's made peace with that trade. Ayanokoji's greatest achievement isn't his intellect or his strategic brilliance. It's the psychological discipline to systematically eliminate the emotional responses that limit other humans. He's done what evolution took millions of years to hardwire, and he's reversed it through pure will. The rest of humanity is still operating on ancient emotional programming that made sense when we were hunting and gathering, but makes no sense in the modern world. Fear kept us alive when we lived in caves. Attachment kept tribes together when we needed collective strength. But in a world of information and strategy, these emotional systems are just vulnerabilities. Most people will never reach this level because they don't have the capacity to view their emotions as optional. They've been taught that feelings are sacred, that suppressing them is unhealthy, that authenticity requires emotional expression. But those people are sheep. They're comfortable. They're safe. They're also powerless. Ayanokoji chose a different path. He chose the path of the void. And from that void came absolute dominion over everyone around him. The final revelation: you think you want his power. You think you want his control. You think you want his ability to manipulate the world according to your will. But do you have the courage to pay the price? Do you have the psychological fortitude to systematically dismantle your own emotional responses? Do you have the discipline to live in the void that remains after feeling is gone? Ayanokoji does. That's why he wins. That's why he'll always win. Not because he's special, but because he's willing to become something that most people consider inhuman. And the irony is that becoming inhuman is the most human thing you can do if you want to master the human game. When you reach this point, realize what you've learned isn't just character analysis. It's a blueprint for truth most people are too terrified to face. If you still crave comfort, then forget what you heard here. But if you're willing to walk away from the herd and see how power really works, you've now seen the void Ayanokoji lives in, and it's colder than you imagined. Few can handle this clarity, and even fewer will act on it. Your illusions are broken. Choose what you do next, most never will.